What is travel? Travel is a community. It is a collection of unparalleled experiences. It is everything from breathtaking natural wonders to sensory discovery, cultural exploration to incredible encounters with incredible people. Travel connects us. It challenges us. It is total relaxation to pure adrenaline. It is shared time to solo adventure. Travel gives us lifelong memories and the most amazing stories to tell. We cannot travel right now. Our health and safety is paramount. But even when we have to stay apart, travel can still bring us closer. So, from homes all around the world, let's keep the spark alive together. Join us as we gather together in travel and celebrate what travel means to each of us. Share your stories, your most prized memories, or greatest adventures. Your favorite images, videos, or the songs you've heard. Inspire and help others. Fuel their bucket lists and let them grow yours. Make us laugh or cry. Make our jaws drop or eyes widen. Let us support one another in this time. Keep the flame of travel burning and wanderlust alive. Because travel is a community, and that is how communities thrive.
Welcome to the first JATA online travel mart. We're coming to you today from the beautiful Western Tokyo. The global pandemic has upended the travel industry, both here in Japan and around the world. While Japanese travelers may not be able to travel quite yet, the Japanese travel industry is not sitting still. JATA is determined to be a leader in fostering the positive momentum required for helping the industry to recover and for building outbound travel demand once again. Over the course of the next month, through this series of online webinars and B2B meetings, we hope you will learn how the Japanese travel industry sees the future of outbound travel, how they're addressing the challenges, and how you, as a travel and tourism supplier, can once again welcome Japanese visitors back to your destination. Let's begin with a welcome greeting from World Travel and Tourism Council President, Gloria Guevara.
Greetings from London. My name is Gloria Guevara. I am the President and CEO of WTTC, the World Travel and Tourism Council. As we represent the private sector globally, it's an honor to be part of this session. Thank you to JATA and Mr. Tagawa for this invitation to share with you the views from WTTC. As we do research in 185 countries around the world, and measure the economic impact of our sector, I can share with you that travel and tourism contributes to 10% of the global GDP. And for the last 9 years, we grew faster than the economy. Last year was not an exception. The growth for travel and tourism was 3.5%, which is 40% more than the global economy growth, which was 2.5%. 1 out of 10 jobs depend on travel and tourism. That's 330 million jobs around the world. But the most important number is when we look at all the jobs created last year around the world in all industries, in all sectors, 1 out of 4 were in travel and tourism. 1 out of 4 in the last 5 years, jobs created in the world were in travel and tourism. Unfortunately, we're living an unprecedented crisis. And as you know, every single market has been impacted, including Japan. Japan is a very important player for the world and for travel and tourism. In the case of Japan, travel and tourism contributes to 7% of the total economy and employs 8% of all the jobs. 70% of the contribution, 69-70% is leisure, which is very important compared to business, which is also important, 31%. And then, of course, domestic and international is very interesting. We have done a lot of research and quantified the economic impact of COVID. The first numbers were related to 15 million jobs impacted. Then unfortunately that number grew to 75. The current number is 121 million jobs. 121 million jobs have been impacted globally. And unfortunately, that number can grow to up to 197 if we don't get things right. In the case of Asia Pacific, that number is 69 million jobs have been impacted and can grow to 115. Now, from WTTC, we like to analyze things, we like to measure and quantify not only the impact of travel and tourism, but also learn from the past. And one important thing that we have done, we look at the crisis, the last 20 years, the last 90 different situations that have impacted travel and tourism. And last November, we issued a report where we divided those situations between natural disasters, political instability, outbreaks like the one that we're living right now, or crises related to security or terrorism, for instance. Now, 3 lessons learned that are very important to bring up, that they are helping us, or they will help us for the recovery. The first one is 9/11. When we had 9/11, we learned that it was very important to have standardized protocols. Unfortunately, it took us a long time after 9/11 to rebuild trust from the travelers. And one of the reasons was because we had different protocols throughout the world for safety and security and screening at airports. And every protocol was defined without support from the private sector and without coordination among countries. And that's why one of the reasons that it took us almost 4 years or 4 years and a half, some countries more and some countries less, to rebuild trust and recover, which was a significant impact. And that's why this time WTTC has worked tirelessly with our members, health officials, and the governments to create protocols so that travelers can have exactly the same experience across the world and we can rebuild confidence faster. The second lesson learned is from 2008 financial crisis that had significant impact to travel and tourism, but we recovered in an average 18 months. Why was that? Because we had a coordinated approach. Very impressive how the G20 platform was created, and public and private collaboration were key, but also coordination among countries. We were able to recover travel and tourism within 18 months, as I say, because of this coordinated approach. So we really need to make an effort and work together to restore travel and tourism faster. And that's why I celebrate this initiative that is very important for the coordination. Third lesson is the outbreaks that we have seen in Asia. Asia has much more experience than, for instance, Europe and America in outbreaks. SARS, MERS, and Ebola are just some examples that we didn't wait for a vaccine in order to travel. We were able to travel even before or without a vaccine. Why was that? Because we were able to isolate the sick people. Very important now to try to do something similar. And yes, we know COVID is a different virus because 80% are asymptomatic, but that's why testing, contact tracing is so key. We need to do more testing and we need to do contact tracing. And for the countries that they have implemented those measures, we see them that they have a better path for recovery. And in this case, the testing component has been included in the seamless travel experience, which is also very important. Last but not least, we need to continue with the support from the governments while we recover. Not only is they have to announce it, they have to work very well with the private sector. And also we need to reinforce the use of wearing the mask. According to Harvard, the School of Public Health, if you wear the mask, if we all wear the mask, 92% of the risk can be reduced, which is significant. So it's very important to take a stand. And that's what WTTC has taken a stand and saying where to care, where we all can contribute to the recovery. Finally, this is not a sum-zero game where you can have health and not have travel or not have a recovery of the economy. We can have all of them if we do this right. So I encourage all of you to work together and especially in this recovery path, as we see in Japan and some other parts of the world, that they are moving in the right direction to have more travel, better travel, and also safety at the same time. Thank you very much.
Representatives of tourism authorities, industries, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tadashi Shimura, and it is my great pleasure to meet you all as president of the Japan Association of Travel Agents. Together with our 1,200 member companies, we at JATA address industry challenges, propose policy initiatives, and hold large-scale travel events, the most widely recognized of which is Tourism Expo Japan, to be held in autumn every year. On May 25th, Japan lifted the state of emergency, which had been imposed to contain the spread of new coronavirus infections. We are currently preparing for the big step in the return to the new reality of living with COVID-19. We already restarted domestic travel and tourism in July, while abiding by the guidelines for safe and seamless travel. Our belief is that by traveling within the national borders, the consumers will regain their confidence and move on to the next stage of recovery, namely international travel. JATA is committed to creating and implementing comprehensive guidelines for safe and seamless overseas travel in a timely manner, based on the experiences of health professionals, government institutions, and experienced stakeholders like you. The Japanese government has been very cautious and still put the opening of the national borders on hold. JATA, in collaboration with other business associations, is negotiating with the government the expansion of PCR testing facilities and the lifting of the travel restrictions for healthy individuals. JATA has mobilized the energy of the sector and established the Japan Outbound Tourism Council in 2017, and as a completely new initiative, launched this JATA Online Travel Mart to prepare for the start of the overseas travel. Although many national borders are still closed for today, to hold JATA Online Travel Mart at this moment is of utmost importance to the recovery of the travel and the tourism industry. The Travel Mart will ensure that our member companies are ready to act as soon as the government lifts the current travel restrictions. The Online Travel Mart will offer a venue for 1,000 professionals from Japan and overseas destinations to meet and get ready to kickstart the Japanese overseas travel. I believe that the speedy recovery of the travel is one of the key fundamentals for global economy, and the economic recovery also benefit tourism industry vice versa. Now, let us make the first step towards the recovery of travel from Japan to your beautiful destinations by working together for a better future for this sector, which promotes peace, provides employment, well-being, and livelihood, not only for the people who work in it, but also for the communities in the destinations that are looking forward to welcoming visitors again. Thank you.
Now it's time for the main event, the JATA Online Travel Forum. This will be a panel discussion with CEOs of 3 of Japan's largest travel companies, JTB, KNT-CT Holdings, and Nippon Travel Agency. Thank you also to our hosts today, Marriott International, who provided our venue here at the Ebisu West in Tokyo. It goes without saying that Japanese travel companies are facing an unprecedented situation due to the global spread of the coronavirus. This panel discussion today is our chance to hear firsthand from 3 industry leaders about how the global pandemic has affected their business. We also want to hear their perspectives on the trends that they're seeing and what factors will be critical to the recovery of the Japanese market post-COVID-19. So, let's get started. First, I'd like to ask each of our panelists to introduce our audience to your company. And shall we start with you, Mr. Horisaka-san? This is Akihiro Horisaka, CEO of Japan's very first travel company, Nippon Travel Agency. Dozo.
Thank you, Marjorie-san. Hello, everybody. I'm honored to be a part of the first JATA Online Travel Mart. I am Akihiro Horisaka, CEO of Nippon Travel Agency. Nippon Travel Agency was founded in 1905 as the first travel company in Japan. We will be celebrating our 115th anniversary this coming November. In 1960, Overseas Travel Department was established. Japanese government opened the door for overseas travel in 1964. Since then, we started production and sales of overseas product in earnest. Our first overseas branch was established in 1966 in Honolulu, Hawaii. We released our exclusive package tour, what we call Maha and Best Tour, in 1970 through 1971, celebrating its 50th anniversary this year or next year. Mutual exchange with other countries, the global business is the area our company most focus on. We cover about 40% of the total volume with global business, consisting of outbound and inbound travel. Our company has been involved in the international exchange business over 30 years and have held over 50 events in more than 20 countries worldwide. We have sent over 100,000 countries worldwide. We have sent over 100,000 Japanese people to those events and have provided opportunities for more than 2 million people to interact. Prior to today's panel discussion, there are several topics I would like to mention. It has been discussed that COVID-19 became a pandemic due to the fact that the population of people interacting between countries rapidly expanded, which put a hold on being more globalized. But I have a different point of view. Referring back to the history of contagious disease such as pest and Spanish flu, it is obvious that globalization accelerated as a result of the Industrial Revolution and the establishment of United Nations in the long term. Needless to say that globalization has become influential worldwide. Even though a current restriction on country boundaries exists, it is a good time to switch from quantity to quality travel. Globalization is expected to continue, and I am confident to say that global business, including overseas travel, will continue to be one of our focus post-COVID-19. Please allow me to share about my personal history. Before assigned as the CEO of NTA, I worked at Japanese National Railways for 8 years, and at West Japan Railway Company, what we call JR West, after privatization and breakup of Japanese National Railway for about 30 years. During my Japanese National Railway days, I earned my MBA degree while in the United States for 2 years. Since the 30 years of JR West days to present, now as the Vice Chairperson of JATA and as the President of and CEO of NTA, I have been actively involved in overseas projects. I have attended several international conferences and meetings whose topics are tourism and railroad business, and moderated conference with international leaders. Just before I came to NTA, I was responsible for marketing of JR West railway revenue of more than 1 trillion yen as senior executive and member of Board of Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Horisaka-san. Now to Mr. Akimasa Yoneda, who is the president of KNT-CT Holdings. Please tell us a little bit about your company.
Thank you, Marjorie. My name is Akimasa Yoneda, coming from KNT-CT Holdings. The company has 29 cities branch and in 16 countries. We are the subsidiary of KNT Group Holdings, which operating the railroad, hotels, department store, transportation, real estate, and leisure market. In the group, we are in charge of leisure business. Since 1941, we established the travel agent and starting the first chartered train for school field trips. And also we are the first stock listing travel industry in Japan. As the KNT brands, we are operating MICE business, education tours, and individual tours also. And also the club tourism. Club tourism has 7.5 million members, and our member has 3.5 million families. We have 4 brands under club tourism. One first brand is Royal Grand Stage, the kinds of the for the limited members for rich families, and second carrier is criteria is premium stage, and the third one is solo travel group tour, Hitori Tabi, and the fourth brand called Yuttari Tabi for relaxing leisure group tours. All 4 groups providing the members to domestic travelers and also the overseas tours. Under KNT brands, we are operating MICE, and 40 years ago, we started Pan Pacific Festival in Honolulu, Hawaii. Also, from 10 years ago, we started the Japan Vietnam Festival in Hanoi also. We are the specialists to operating the international MICE and trade show. Also, in regard to the individual travelers, we have 2 brands of Mate and Holidays. Mate for the domestic travel, and Holiday is for the overseas travelers. As one of the major travel agent, we are now providing the safety and security travels, creating the healthier travels. We hope we can send so many guests and club tourism members to overseas. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoneda-san. Now let's turn to Mr. Eijiro Yamakita, the President and CEO of JTB.
Thank you, Marjorie-san. Hello, everyone. I am Yamakita of JTB. It's a pleasure to be here with you. First of all, let me briefly introduce our company. JTB Group traces its roots back to 1912. For 108 years, JTB has been developed the relationship with the various type of customers. At the beginning, when the foundation was made, it was called the Japan Tourist Bureau, which was established to attract the foreign tourist, international traveler to Japan, to promote the travel in Japan and also to assist the travel arrangement for them. Since that time, we have developed the various type of business, not only for the individual leisure travelers, but also the corporate travelers, which include various type of corporate business like business travel, MICE corporate event, incentive groups, exhibition, every kind of corporate related business as well as the merchandising, publishing, and digital solutions, every kind of things. So our business domain has expanded, like generating value through the creative exchange of the people. It's not like just a travel company. I understand the JTB's strength lies in the expansion of these stakeholders, not only individual but the corporate. And because of this tight relationship with the customers, our business is supported by these tight relationships, engagement with the customers, and that is why, for example, when COVID-19 outbreak happened in February. One of our important customer, corporate customer in China, was planning to hold the exhibition, trade show, trade fair in China, but naturally they're forced to cancel the event. But at the time, because the relationship, our Beijing office proposed something different, online event solution, and that was adopted. And at the end, the customers are happy about the results of the event. Likewise, it was not really like event business, but online solution was accepted, and because of this, our relation with the customer was developed. This is one of the examples to prove our engagement with the customers. Lastly, in my view, the current COVID-19 situation will accelerate the digitalization, and we need to be adapted to the changes. So we do the remote services. I will describe that later a little bit more, but digitalization is an important key issue for the future. But at the same time, in order to realize the original goal of the individual travelers and the corporate, it is important, still important, the human asset takes a great important role in this world, and the digitalization will connect people to people, people to our staff to customer, and our staff to the business partners. So that's really important concept for our company. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yamakita-san. As you can see, this is an impressive panel of industry leaders, and I have a lot of questions for them. So let's get to it. First off, I want to talk a little bit about key trends. JATA and OTOA, the Overseas Tour Operator Association that represents the receptive operators and land operators, both organizations are developing overseas travel guidelines for safety, security for Japanese travelers when they begin to travel post COVID-19. But we know there's much more to winning Japanese travelers back than just providing great guidelines. So I want to hear a little bit about the trends that you're all seeing and how you recognize those. Horisaka-san, shall we start with you? What trends are you seeing, and how do you expect that to impact your demand?
Well, there will definitely be change in quantity and quality. During the recovery period from COVID-19, we will face the drop of travel demand as a result of economic downturn. Certain people will avoid travel under the new normal and shift to non-travel demands. Furthermore, we assume there will be a shift from overseas travel to domestic or virtual travel.
Right.
We are concerned for the decline of quantity in leisure travel. On the other hand, we are confident that there is a considerable number of travelers waiting for overseas travel to resume. Needless to say, under the new normal, keeping social distance will be fully required for both domestic and overseas travel, along with increase of a variety of safe and secure measures for pre, post, and during travel. As you say, JATA and OTOA are leading the formulation of the overseas travel guideline. NTA is in the process of revising and updating the guideline for operation management standard and customer service standard based on the health and hygiene global standardized protocol announced by the WTTC and our own standards. The demand to avoid the risk to travel with unspecified number of people during sightseeing and transfers will increase, but individual and family travel will remain popular, I think. It made us realize that cancellation of events such as sports, music, and theater have had a strong impact on us, which proved these events are essential to our lives. people's demand are shifting from purchasing their merchandise to experiential consumption. Travel is a typical example of experiential consumption. In new normal life, this movement of experiential consumption will accelerate and become a more definite value. Amid COVID-19, online consumption has increased worldwide. Furthermore, conferences and events are held using virtual reality and augmented reality technology, as we all know. It is unrealistic to believe that the way of travel will be transposed completely to online or virtual reality, but it may be their time to rediscover the value of real travel. On the other hand, the fusion of reality and virtual, online and offline, hybrid travel will be the trend for travel for the time being. I understand that some countries have already hosted new hybrid style of MICE events. Also, self-guided tour and remote guiding are developed as new tool for independent travel. We ask for your support to offer new methods and ideas of conduct MICE and other offer future style of independent travel.
That's really interesting, Horisaka-san. I think over these past few months, we've been all enjoying those virtual hybrid travel experiences, but you've pointed out how they can be linked to generating real demand for future. So that's definitely a topic to watch. Thank you. How about you, Yoneda-san? Do you see other trends?
Oh, yes. I'd like to point out there are two areas to how to walk. The walking style changed to walk remotely. It means even the commuting style will change. So, of course, we got lots of experience to get on the crowded trains on the morning and also the evening. But now the separation happened to commuting. That is why the train has enough space to commute. So even the train company now serving the from long seat to cross seat trains also. So from the employee side, we have enough time to spend in a home. So we can consider about the kinds of the how to spend their time with families, even in a restaurant and also the playground with kids. And also the when we go to the vacation, we can now offering the vacation style during the their day off. It means in a resort area, we can stay long, more than 1 week or 2 weeks. And the vacation style will change to the hub and spokes. Now the transportation should be reduced in order to avoid the infection of the virus. So it means that we had better go to one location as a resort or a city resort, we don't care. But after they are staying there, hotel or ryokan inn, they can go to around their spot from their staying hotel. So before the coronavirus, the routine travel is a very popular style. But now changed to hub and spoke style travel. Also the work remotely changed to the kinds of the thinking of the life. Before the coronavirus, we concentrate to work for weekdays. But now we are separate the use of the day off. Even the weekday, we can go out to the leisure. So we'd like to recommend the separate vacation in the season and also the weekday. Yeah. That's it.
Those are very interesting points. I think we would never have imagined Japan to have that kind of work style. So this idea of working remotely, but now working as a vacation, a workation, is fascinating. And I think that there'll be destinations around the world who will be eager to have Japanese professionals come and work in their cities for periods of time and do that hub and spoke you talked about. Very interesting. Thank you. How about you, Yamakita-san? Do you see other trends?
Yes, I fully agree with both of Mr. Horisaka and Mr. Yoneda. And on top, I see two major trends. One is the, of course, digitalization. Society will be more digitalized than we thought about in the past. So we need to be adapted to that. That is one of the biggest challenge for the travel industry, how we can adapt to the digitalization. But this could be the very good opportunity for both everybody, because the digitalization will eliminate the constraints of the time and locations, so that we can provide the contents and services to everyone, whatever the timing is and where the location is. So that's really important development we can foresee in the future. Secondly, the customer needs will be more personalized. That will be obvious because of the avoidance of the closeness. People tend to travel within a small group, family-related, visiting friends. That's the beginning of the recovery. And maybe even after the vaccination is invented, the trend could be more personalized. But even before the COVID-19 outbreak, the trend was to be more individual. So we've been trying to adapt to the personalization, which is another big challenge for the tourism industry, because our business is based on the scale. So how do collect many people in the same place? This is the this has been a very important factor of the travel business. But in the future, we need to think about how to manage this scattered situation. Just like Mr. Yoneda mentioned, a weekday demand should be one of the example where we can promote. So it's important to take balance between these two.
Very interesting. So I'm hearing digitalization a lot. All of you talked about digitalization, new styles of working, and how that will change the way that you people vacationing on weekdays, something very, very interesting. Lots more personalization, customization, smaller groups, maybe just friends and small family groups. And of course, still safety and hygiene. And you didn't mention it specifically, but I think you're all talking about avoiding crowds and how to have your clients travel without coming together with lots of crowds. So those are all great topics, and we will delve into those a little bit further now in the discussion. Okay, great. So those were good topics to pull out. Let's turn now to looking at those trends and how they'll affect the operating environments for the Japanese travel companies. Horisaka-san, how do you see these trends that you have been describing affecting the distribution channel?
It is obvious that these trends will have big impact on purchasing and distribution. We see on the news that some airlines are filing bankruptcy and withdrawing from the market or under the control of the government, while other airlines around the world are in jeopardy. This situation may continue to arise. there is a high risk for the land portion, such as hotels, buses, and activities, which will affect the purchasing environment for travel companies with decrease of supply and rise in price. Recording the plan to add new international flights to Haneda Airport and additional flights to Kansai International Airport from this past March, we have to admit the impact COVID-19 has on travel industry and must accept changes in new normal era. Amid COVID-19, online consumption has increased worldwide. Regardless of any business type, we are forced to consider the way of selling a product over the counter. We hear on the news that some travel companies have already decided to close all their stores, and with the new IIT fare system, known as new dynamic pricing for individuals, wholesale model of package tour will become more difficult to sell. However, it is unrealistic to believe that the way of travel will be transposed completely to online or virtual reality, but a chance to rebuild the value of stores, and we can have the responsibility to create and offer attractive overseas tour products.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that retail branches would all disappear. It seems like consumers would want to have a chance to still consult with a travel consultant, but we'll see how that goes. How do you see the changes affecting your product development, particularly in terms of the timing and planning and purchasing?
Well, with the change in purchasing environment and the demand from customers, I believe it is necessary to change the timing of purchasing and product planning accordingly. Up to now, the timing of our purchasing and planning were based on the circumstances of the production side. But with the new normal era after COVID-19, we must review the terms drastically with the full support and understanding from the suppliers worldwide. Specifically, we put more focus on individual packages corresponding with dynamic pricing, while reviewing the product planning term of the entire product year-round. And also, we are aware of necessity of changing and the purchasing terms in the future with the demands of the corporate market. Generally, our target of the main strategy is based on attracting a large number of travelers, as they says.
The mass market.
We will gradually shift this model to the target based on small mass travel with emphasis on profit. To specify, tour products emphasis on quality, combining an exclusive experience and service, tailor-made or customized tour product approaching to the market with specific interest, and new tour products based on the new style of post-COVID-19 living. We will focus on these three categories. For example, small group travels catered from luxury market, tour designed and offered by experts and curators of the specific field, and new style of travel related with workation, which was established amid COVID-19.
What would be a small group? How big would a small group be? How many people? Do you know?
Oh, who knows?
We'll see. Huh? Okay. What used to be big groups, Yoneda-san, you mentioned club tourism and talking about that business, the 7.5 million members that you have, and typically traveling in large groups, large motor coach tours. That's kind of a staple of the Japanese market that our viewers around the world will be familiar with. How do you see the motor coach tour market changing in this new environment?
Yeah, that's a nice question. We are considering the reducing the size of groups. As I have told at the beginning of the this program, we have club tourism, and club tourism offers a new style. In regard to the bus tour, motor coach tours, we reduce the number of guests to 19 people, and all 19 members should use the window side of the buses. So it means cost-wise, of course, we should increase cost. And secondly, we offered at first micro-tourism, one-day trip, short distance trip at first, and later we'd like to offer the kinds of long distance travel by even a motor coach or train. So as I have told, now even the club tourism new style will use a hub and spoke style. So going to the one location by a train or a flight, and later we will use a motor coach by the small number of groups. And thirdly, the sightseeing time should be 2 times, 50% more or 2 times, in order to make a guest relax to moving around the locations. And fourthly, we'd like to now considering about the verification for safety and hygiene, high level of hygiene. Japanese needs the kinds of the safety feeling, especially the club tourism member is senior people, mainly the senior people. So they'd like to get some relief from the company. So we are offering the quality mark verification.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Those sound like very good changes. It'll be interesting to see how you put those to work. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, those were very interesting comments. Now I'd like to return to the issue of safety and security in this new normal, as Horisaka-san mentioned. Yamakita-san, what changes is JTB considering in terms of safety and security?
Yes. I think everybody is facing difficulties, how to restart the cross-border trip. Yeah. But when time comes, it is very important to prepare 2 things. One is the security, safety, how to ensure the trip is safe. So in terms of handling safety, we will naturally observe the guideline of overseas travel to be set up by the JATA, that is planned. And we will also establish our own minimum standards, how to handle the trip, overseas travel in a safe way, to take preventive measures against the infections. So that's very important thing to start with. So naturally, we will need to make a drastic change of the process, which will cost, in a sense, but it's really important to ensure this part. Secondly, in order to cope with the personalization, as I mentioned, it is important to use the digital technology. In order to cope with personalization, it is important people can book and travel as they wish. Right. So it's been an agenda for the travel industry how to cope with this situation. One of the challenge we are doing for the future is we are developing the new dynamic package system, which will solve this situation to some extent. It's not like normal dynamic package, just combining air and hotel. which already exist, but in the future it is important that travelers will feel as if they are, traveling on their own wish, at the destination as well. So we will combine the destination services like local operated bus and the transfers, optional tours and activities. As much as possible, we will include the destination service on the platform so that people book as they wish, but people are traveling as if they are on the full package product. That's really important movement for the future. And lastly, in order to make it possible, even with the digital booking and the travel arrangement process, we will keep the basic, security package, just like what we are doing as the full package tours, like Look JTB in our case, and Maha Holiday, all have very, very safety support services at the destination as well. So this has to be combined with the new product.
Yeah, that safety and support is what so many of your clients, I think, come to you for. That's what they're looking for through a package tour. So it's very interesting to hear how you're this kind of one-to-one customization, but still feel like you're on a full package. It'd be fascinating to see how you put that together. It could be a real game changer for the market. Yes. Yoneda-san, you remarked when we were talking about motor coach tours about some of the expectations that KNT-CT will have for suppliers locally, what you'll be asking them to do. We certainly expect that suppliers will be setting up their own protocols for social distancing and for hygiene. Are there some other steps that you plan to take as a company?
Yes. As you know, the Japanese guests request a high level of hygiene, and in Japan we call the factor X. The number of the this person is very small in Japan. It's called factor X. Still, the medical area has no reason why Japanese is not so many number of deaths. I have experience to build up the new hotel in California. At that time, we provide 3 kinds of the hotel service for Japanese, especially for Japanese, in order to keep a high level of hygiene. First one is slippers. In the US or Europe, hotel never provide slippers, but the Japanese has a custom to change the shoes at the entrance area and change to slippers. So as you know, all Japanese hotels providing the slippers, but in overseas countries have never set up such a service. Slippers keeping the outside and inside absolutely separately. Second item is the washlet. It's a kind of the toilet seat with bidet functions. In Japan, very popular, but in Europe, it's very rare. Only the kinds of the 4-star, 5-star hotel has a bidet separately, but that keeps the very clean even inside the toilet. The third one is I'd like to ask the old supplier to make clear the hotel has a bathtub or not. Because the several hotels provide only the shower booths, not the bathtubs. Japanese loves to have a bathtub, even in the overseas countries. So I expect to provide such information for our travel agent in Japan.
So you'll need them to give you that information when they're talking to you about rates. Yeah, okay, good. That sounds very practical. Thank you for that. Yamakita-san, I heard that JTB is also looking at some changes to your meet and greet services and other services that you have. on the ground once your clients arrive. Can you talk a bit about that?
Okay. In Hawaii and Guam, for example, the normal procedure at the destination is we prepare the welcome desk, service desk, and welcome people from Japan and some other countries, and welcome everybody on the service desk, and they provide information, advise what to do during the stay, accept the booking for the optional tours. This is a normal procedure at this time. This involves a lot of, gathering and
people coming together.
Yeah, a lot of contact, physical contact. Yes. So in order to avoid the closeness, we will make it on digital application, for example. Okay. So we will prepare the application where people can get any information, and also the booking and the local services. So that will make people's life easier at the destination. Yeah. So this is one of the things we're trying to make. So by doing that, there is additional benefit for the customers, travelers, because they can book without time constraint. They can do whatever they want, and even before they travel, they can get information on the destination. So by using the remote services, even at the point of planning the trip, they can get information from the destination by the remote services.
That's excellent.
So we're trying to introduce the remote consulting service from overseas offices like this. This is one of the things. We're planning also the chatbot, which can make people's a lot of questions possible. They can get the best optimal answers. So this will make efficiency much better. Yeah. And even for the excursion type, we're trying to introduce the remote guiding service as well. This is one of the examples. The other thing I wanted to mention is we started, even before COVID-19, the destination product, which is called Land Cruise JTB in Europe, which is the seating coach product. It's like a hop on, hop off bus, Yeah. But it's real excursion and the multiple days trip on the destination. So it's like a package tour, but the people can book airline, also the book the hotels themselves for the FIT arrangements, like a dynamic package. But this could be combined with the destination excursion tour, right? So they can jump on in the middle of their trip, this coach tour for 5 days in Europe. During that period, they can get full service like guiding services, coach, restaurant, just like a full package tour, right? But they can select the portion they are riding on the coach tour, right?
So they go between city to city or destination to destination. Interesting. Okay.
And they can also change around the other circle, of the trip in the middle of the tour. So that will help the personalization as well.
Yeah.
So this could help in the future. Unfortunately, currently this service is suspended because of the lack of customer.
Right.
But when time comes, B2C service is already available, and also with the business partner, travel agent, we are using this product commonly. So that's really important product in the B2B market as well. Right?
So you would be able to have not just JTB use it, but other tour operators could also be using that product and selling it to their clients.
Right, they're free
Very
to use
interesting.
part of the product as well. Yeah.
I hope you do it in Europe and other destinations around the world. I know our viewers would love to have a product like that. It's needed. Very interesting. Thank you. Horisaka-san, I wanted to talk to you about a different topic. You mentioned your own study abroad experience in your opening remarks. And educational travel is another huge segment in the Japanese market. Have always been large groups of Japanese studying overseas or going overseas for educational trips. NTA has always been a leader in that field. So
not so sure.
how do you see that program changing? And people are so concerned about young people and how they're going to be able to engage with the world as we go forward.
Yeah, thank you. As mentioned before, recovery of overseas educational travel is more difficult than other travel segments.
Sure.
But educational travel is one of our main target field, as you mentioned. At the same time, making opportunities and offering a younger generation to travel and discover the world is one of our important mission for travel agencies.
Yeah.
With that said, I'd like to present World Tour Work, an online tool we are in the process of inventing for global inquiry-based learning. With the help of suppliers from certain destinations who has been operating overseas training, we first start off with pre-learning of workbooks that stands as a progress guide.
Mm-hmm.
After the pre-learning, we plan to use online broadcasting to operate online seminars. The system of Perth, West Australia, is already developed, and program for Canada and Singapore are in the process. NTA, as the only travel company in Japan declaring SDGs, we have been involved closely with international exchange. We took part in Sustainable Brands 2020, taking initiative on education for next generation program. We have started a website where we can learn the basic ideas of SDGs and cooperations activities with SDGs. We will continue to propose new style of educational travel under the new normal world. One of our main objects to enhance overseas educational travel is to make an attempt to stop the decrease of younger generation traveling abroad, which is becoming a growing issue in Japan. We want them to experience and feel the importance of international exchange, encourage them to travel and explore the world as they grow. Unfortunately, the number of Japanese in their 20s traveling abroad have decreased by 20% over the last 20 years. And the rate of issuing a passport has also dropped. In our days, we all believed traveling abroad and exploring the world, what we see and what we experience will enrich our lives. We want to give opportunities to the young generation to experience this valuable moment. From last year, with the cooperation of suppliers, JATA has launched a new program for 20-year-old recognized as adult in Japan who have never traveled abroad. This program offers them to visit, feel, and experience other countries around the world. Due to COVID-19, this year's program was canceled, but we will closely involve to resume this program in the near future.
It's very interesting. I think that it's always been a challenge for those of us in the market to figure out how to inspire those young people to go overseas again.
We should.
Yeah, so we look forward to. We should, yes, all of us should. So we look forward to how you're going to make that happen. Thank you. This has been such an informative discussion, and I thank you all for the great comments that you've made. I still have so many questions, and our time is flying by. I can't ask you all of them. But as we near to the close, I wanted to give you each a chance to say something directly to our audience, our viewers around the world who are travel and tourism suppliers and destinations around the world. Do you have a request for them? What would be one request that you have for them for how to work with your companies in the future? Shall we start with Horisaka-san?
Yes, thank you. As I have been sharing ideas in today's discussion, we will keep our emphasis on globalization and continue to strongly promote international exchange business after COVID-19, even after COVID-19. We have been hosting international exchange event called Japan Week for over 30 years in Europe, North America, and Australia. Also, we have been hosting Japan Travel and Product Expo and walking events in Asia and China. These events introduce Japan's fascinating tourist attractions and products, as well as providing a place for mutual exchange. In recent years, number of students groups participating in these events have been growing. That's a good news.
Good. Yeah.
We have been playing an important role for exchange of future generation. Again, we are committed to keep promoting international exchange business. So we would like to ask for your ideas and suggestions, as well as your continuous support. Please, thank you.
Thank you, Horisaka-san. How about you, Yoneda-san? Do you have a message?
As I have told the last question, even the Japanese are requesting the level of security, safety, and hygiene. And I point out the 3 points, the slippers and washlet and bathtubs. But actually speaking, most important matters is the medical system in the countries. Japanese always having the kinds of insurance, abroad insurance. So if the insurance works at the country, everybody can get very safety feelings. So please explain about your country's medical system at first. And secondly, we need a kind of safety security guidelines. In Japan, now the JATA is providing the all hotel guidelines. Front desk should have a kind of a face mask or face shield or something. Such kinds of the guideline should be informed to the guests. Such a guideline helps our promotion for overseas travels. Thirdly, kinds of the information about the restaurant and food providing systems, how they are controlling the food supply, and also the as the restaurant, we should keep the social distance, especially the for the breakfast. Almost all hotels providing the buffet style breakfast, but now buffet style is very risky. So if you can provide the breakfast separately or at the private rooms. Such information helps our promotion. It means we need a kind of detailed information for Japanese guests. I appreciate your cooperation, and I expect after the COVID-19, after the new vaccine came to the world, we start the abroad travel and reach to the same level as last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoneda-san. And finally, Yamakita-san, what kind of a request do you have for our audience?
What I wanted to mention at the end of this session to all the colleagues in the world is to let's have a hope and let's move ahead. This is moving forward is really important for the tourism industry. You know, everybody got suffered during this period, and the you know, not only the travel related companies, but all all the travel-related industry, hotels, transportations, guys, everybody is involved in this COVID-19 outbreak. But we tend to lose the hope, but it is not true. The tourism has a power, and that is why it is very important to give hope to the younger people who want to be involved in this tourism industry. You know, there is a future for us, and in order to make it possible, we do need to change ourselves. So adapting to the new normal situation is very important. But this COVID-19 situation has raised the awareness of the need of achievement of sustainability development goals, as it was always talked about, but we are now aware that this is really important for the industry, how to survive, how to make sustainable world. So even before this situation, like over-tourism was becoming a big issue for the industry. And this could be a good opportunity for us because we are trying to equalize the demand, just like we discussed earlier, shifting the demand to the weekdays and the off-peak seasons. This could be possible because of the change of lifestyle and the working style. Remote work is now normal. So workation, this kind of concept is very important for the future. So let's try to change ourselves to be adapted to the new normal situation. We should be pioneer to explore the world. And the essence of the tourism is the linking people, linking smile, people smile. This is really important. Don't forget about that. No matter what the digitalization comes in, this is a really important power of travel. So let's convey this kind of message to people and try to find a way to explore the new world. One last thing I want to mention is the equalization. It's not only time and location, but destination. When it comes to destination, we've been doing the global destination campaign for these 2 years. Even before we've been doing the destination campaign, but the reason why we made it bigger campaign was to involve a lot of the players in the destinations. We've been working with government, starting from Singapore, Hawaii, Australia, and then Europe. And then we do for North America, Canada, all over the world, involving the local government, every kind of player at the destination. By doing that, the industry itself will find out a way, how to place the people, not only the concentrated, the big city, like Barcelona, Amsterdam, this is a big over-tourism city. But by finding out a new destination, local asset, the possibility is, enormous in the future. So we should work like this for the future. This is the last message. So I hope or agree with my vision, our vision, and let's join hands together to promote the tourism for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you for finishing on a very hopeful note, a very positive note for the future. That's great to hear. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing all of your insights with us today. That concludes our first JATA Online Travel Forum. As you learned today, the Japanese travel industry is actively planning for the next era of travel. I hope all of you in the audience found some new knowledge to take away with you today from our discussion, and hope that you can apply that to your business dealings with these three companies and with the Japanese travel industry overall going forward. Thank you once again to our panel. It's been great to have you today.
Thank you.
So as a reminder, the online seminars and business meetings will start next week. There'll be a total of 50 online seminars for the travel industry and hundreds of online meetings, B2B meetings, between 500 Japanese buyers and 500 overseas sellers. The meetings will be held over 5 days, beginning on August 6 and 7, August 31, and September 1 and 2. This JATA Online Travel Mart is also the kickoff event for Tourism Expo Japan 2020, which will be held in October in Okinawa. And it's also the kickoff event for TEJ Tokyo Business Meeting and Travel Festa, which will be held in early January 2021. So from online to in-person appointments to tourism expos, JATA will continue its efforts to lead our industry in resuming outbound travel and revitalizing tourism around the world. We thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to your cooperation in the coming months. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the first JATA Online Travel Mart. As we heard from the CEO panelists, in the online forum, Japan's travel industry is thinking out of the box and beginning to implement solutions to recover outbound travel, demand, and revitalize the travel industry. JATA is not alone. The global travel and tourism industry is united in this effort. To demonstrate that commitment, in this part of our program, we bring the Japanese travel industry messages from the CEOs of 11 destinations popular with Japanese visitors. And for travel suppliers around the world, we have messages from 4 major Japanese travel companies: H.I.S, Hankyu Travel, JALPAK, and ANA Sales. Please enjoy.
皆様アロハ、ハワイ州観光局の三江バーレです。旅行業界の皆様の長年にわたるハワイへのサポートに対し心より感謝申し上げます。今回の新型コロナウイルス感染拡大により、業界、デスティネーションともに多大な影響を受けており、皆様におかれましても大変な苦慮をなされているものと存じます。日々、状況が変化する中、ハワイでは3月5日に非常事態宣言、3月の末には渡航自粛要請、州民の外出自粛、すなわちロックダウンを行い、早めの対策に注力してまいりました。その成果もあり、アメリカ50州の中でアラスカに次いで感染率が低い州となっております。ハワイ州内におけるコロナ対策と安全ガイドラインにも注力し、6月16日には当館の14日間隔離を解除、地元経済活性に向けて少しずつ動き出してまいりました。ハワイ州では州便および渡航者の安全を最優先にセーフティープロトコールの詳細共有およびニューノーマルに向けてのインフラ準備を進めております。 現在のところ9月1日から観光再開の第一歩として、島外から入島される際に出発72時間前に PCR 検査を含む遺伝子検査を受け、陰性である証明書を持ってきていただければ14日間隔離解除されると発表されております。到着後の検温やコンタクトトレーシングのためのヘルスフォーム記入なども義務化され、新しいガイドラインも施行されていくこととなります。日々変わる状況に柔軟性を持って対応しながら、観光再開に向けて調整を続けていく予定です。現地からの最新情報は公式ポータルサイト allhawaii.jp に随時掲載しておりますのでご確認ください。ハワイ州観光局では業界向けに現地の生の声や現状を伝え、下期に向けて準備をしていくために積極的に現地からのオンラインウェビナーを開催しております。秋以降の観光再開及びその後のリカバリープロモーションに向けて引き続き皆様のご協力をお願いいたします。ハワイは長年にわたりいくつもの困難を乗り越えながら世界中からの渡航者をアロハの精神とホスピタリティでお迎えしてまいりました。これからも業界一丸となってニューノーマルに対応し、安心して日本からのお客様がハワイへ渡航できるよう準備を進めてまいります。引き続きハワイへのご支援をどうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
Alpha Day, I'm Carl Gutierrez, President and CEO of the Guam Visitors Bureau. After months of quarantine, our island and our people are excited to welcome you back to Guam. As we get back to the new normal, we want to assure you that our island has implemented certain guidelines to make sure you and your families are safe during your visit. We can't wait to share the spirit of Half a Day with you once again. We'll see you soon.
Hello, my name is Norio Sasaga. I'm the General Manager of Sales Management and Coordination Headquarters for Hankyu Travel International. Our company puts in place some measures which are directed towards when foreign travel will open again. First, in order to maintain and foster our customers' desire to travel outside Japan, we regularly update our website and provide emails update with the latest news, image, and movie with information on each country to where our customers travel. For example, our Roma office made a movie regarding the local corona advice and their experience of the new normal. Here's a short clip.
Buongiorno, Hankyu Travel ローマ支店のサブリナです。今入り口前に来てます。少しずつ観光客が増えつつあります。今テレビの泉に来ました。このように、観光客も見えますね。そして警察も人が密集しないようにチェックしてますね。今休憩中のレストランに来ています。レストランでもこうやって8人掛けのところを4人分の用意しています。でこのようにお店を並ぶ時も 1.5 メートルのソーシャルディスタンスを守るようにと言われております。で実際にお店の中には消毒液が入り口に必ず置いてあります。一日でも早く皆様を出迎えできる日を楽しみにしております。Vi aspettiamo presto. Ciao!
This is update on a weekly basis. We are also training an online educational travel resource consisting of interactive seminar, virtual tours, and YouTube videos. We also plan to begin offering our clients the opportunity to engage in real face-to-face travel briefing from next month. We are committed with continuing these simple measures, and when tourism abroad is once again possible, we're looking forward to guiding our many Japanese customers to your shores. Therefore, we humbly ask of you to please not forget the Japanese tourism market. Thank you for your time.
中国大使館文化部講師参事官の関英生です。今年は新型コロナウイルスの影響で、世界範囲で観光業界は今まで経験したことのない巨大な打撃を受けました。感染症を撲滅して観光業を復興させることは我々の共同の願いでございます。このような大変な時期に中日観光業界の皆様はオンライントラベルバイヤー&セラー商談会を開催し、情報交換、経験を共有、そしてこれからの観光について話し合うことはとても重要です。この場をお借りして、私は中国大使館並びに中国観光業界の皆様を代表いたしまして、会議のご成功をお祈り申し上げます。感染症と戦う中、我々は常に中日の観光を復興させ、再開する情報を注視しております。中国では安全を確保前提で、4月から各省内の観光を再開しました。そして7月14日に中国文化と観光部は各省間の団体旅行を再開し始めました。今、各予約サイトへの問い合わせは 500% の勢いで急増しています。日本でも日本政府は観光業へ支援政策と支援金を打ち出し、観光業の皆様もさまざまな復興のための措置を講じ、今、県内旅行や GoTo キャンペーンを実施し、復興への第一歩を踏み出しました。ここで特に日本の皆様に伝えたいことは、感染症を抑えてから中国の皆さんは一番旅行に行きたい国は日本です。日本の皆様もぜひ同様に中国においでください。その時はきっと新しい旅行体験ができると思います。最後に感染症を一日も早く撲滅して観光業の復興と中日間の旅行の早期再開を心からお祈りいたします。
日本の旅行業界の皆様、こんにちは。韓国観光公社東京支社長のチョン・ジンスです。日頃お世話になっているJATA主催のJATAオンライントラベルマート開催にあたりまして、韓国観光協会を対応いたしまして感謝の礼を申し上げます。また、ポストコロナ、ウィズコロナのためにご尽力されている旅行業界の皆様にも感謝の礼を申し上げるとともに、私どもも一生懸命皆様と共にこれを乗り越えていきたいと思っております。皆様もご存知のように、韓国は今、新型コロナ対リファについてある程度落ち着いているところでございます。特に政府主導で7月1日から19日まで特別旅行週間という特別イベントを無事に感染者拡大なしに終了いたしました。これは韓国人旅行者はもちろんのこと、外国人のためにも役立ついろんな勉強になったイベントでもあります。ただし、他日本人は出入国の時に PCR 検査、それから空港からホテルまでの移動、それから観光地での社会的ディスタンスなど、安心安全のために韓国の旅行業界とともに私ども韓国観光公社は今いろんな努力をしております。また皆様もご存知のように、今日本では韓国のドラマが新しい人気を得ております。特に愛の不時着、イテウォンクラス、ザ・キングなどがそれなんです。私どもはこのドラマを活用しての観光をまた活性化するために韓流ロケーションツアーを企画しております。特に釜山を中心としたザ・キング、 それからチェジュ島、カゴンドなどが中心である愛の不時着がそれなんです。また私どもは夜間観光、それからJATAと一緒に選定した韓国絶品グルメ30選などテーマのある観光コンテンツと地方観光活性化のために皆様の力添えを待っております。皆様といいパートナーとしてこれからも頑張っていきたいと思いますし、両国政府間で早いうちにトラベルバブルの中ができるように私どもも頑張っていきたいと思います。改めまして皆様のご尽力、それから韓国観光商品企画のための一生懸命な努力について感謝を申し上げながら挨拶に返させていただきます。ありがとうございました。
Hello everyone, participating in online travel Mart. This is Kenji-da. I'm in charge for overseas travel business at H.I.S. First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude for all your support for H.I.S. As some of you may already know, H.I.S. has just moved from Shinjuku, which we spent more than 15 years, to a new hometown of Toranomon Minato last month. It is a new and exciting office, and you are all welcome to visit us anytime. At all of our 268 H.I.S. overseas branches, we are preparing to welcome back again our customers from Japan. Not only we follow basic infection control measures, as now we call a new normal standard, but also in a unique way. For example, we just started a new service in Honolulu, providing dedicated car transportation for each travel groups. Also, we are planning other special products, such as in-room check-in and in-room breakfast, and more unique services to avoid crowds and unnecessary contact with others. We will do everything we can to provide safety for all of our customers. All we have to do now is to wait patiently for the mutual immigration restrictions to be repealed. Meanwhile, we conduct a marketing review to bring back demand for travel to those countries once they begin to reopen again. We are facing a very difficult time, which we have never experienced before. However, we shall do our best for Japanese travelers to experience once again the beauty of all countries across the world. Thank you very much.
日本の皆様、Bonjour。私はアトフランスのジェネラルマネージャー、カロリーヌ・レブシェでございます。厳しい状況ですが、皆様は元気にお過ごしいただいていると思います。このビデオを通じて皆様の思う我々の気持ちが通じることを願います。フランスでは5月以降感染症対策を実施しながら普段通りの生活を徐々に取り戻しています。あとフランスはフランス政府や多くの観光施設と一緒に日本の観光客の皆様や旅行会社の皆様に安心してフランス旅行を楽しんでいただくための受け入れ体制を整えています。承知の通り、フランスは日本からの渡航者を受け入れるため国境を再開しました。我々も秋からフランスのプロモーションを再開します。フランスの魅力は今も変わりません。フランスを代表する世界遺産、ワイン、美食や豊かな自然などは日本人の皆様をお待ちしています。我々の友人、JATAによる今回のイベントで皆様が新しい旅行商品調整に役立つ情報を得られることを願います。もちろん、あとフランスもお手伝いいたします。Merci, à bientôt en France.
Dear colleagues, dear partners, greetings from Germany, your destination at the heart of Europe. I feel very honored to speak virtually in your first online travel mart today. Thank you to the Japan Association of Travel Agents for having me on this special day. Japan has been one of our top 3 source markets in Asia for a long time. Last year alone, we recorded more than 1.2 million overnight stays in Germany by the Japanese visitors. What a stunning number. Thank you for that. We know that the Japanese love Germany. They appreciate sightseeing and shopping in our cities like Munich, Frankfurt, Berlin, or Düsseldorf. And also tours through the wonderful Alps or along the Rhine with its charming towns and castles are very popular. 2020 has seen a big change. Coronavirus has put the brakes on global tourism. Many tourism companies, hotels, restaurants, and retailers have been hit hard and are still feeling the impact, but they are accepting the challenge. Many have opened up their business again and have implemented strict rules on hygienic and distancing in order to keep tourists safe. Now the pandemic is slowing down and we are prepared for this. Borders have reopened and the number of international flights increase from week to week. International research shows that Germany comes out top for hygiene, healthcare, and crisis management. Now it's the right time to intensify the good cooperation between the German National Tourist Board and the Japanese travel industry. Our common goal to overcome this crisis and to rebuild our business. We as the German National Tourist Board are doing everything to help business to restart. A first step for our wide-ranging recovery program was the virtual Germany Travel Mart. Key accounts from 49 countries, including Japan, discussed and negotiated the latest offerings from 250 partners in the German tourism industry. Safety, quality, and sustainability have been the focus of the several global campaigns. We stopped them because of the pandemic, but now we are rolling them out. Germany Dreams Become Reality encourages visitors from the open markets to travel to Germany again. More campaigns will follow over the coming weeks, like Discover Beethoven, Wanderlust Germany, or German Summer Cities. We look forward to welcoming your customers to Germany again. Germany awaits you. Domo arigato gozaimashita. Bis bald in Deutschland. Sayonara.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's an honor and a pleasure of being invited among the main tourism destinations for the Japanese traveler. Italy has reopened its borders on the 3rd of June, guaranteeing the utmost safety and security for all international travelers. On the website italia.it, it is possible to find all information concerning guidelines and concerning the protocols which have been put into action by all the service providers of the Italian tourism industry. The tourism industry represents 13% of the GDP of Italy, and we are working to recover and to reposition our destination on the international markets thanks to a campaign which is called Travel to Italy, which has started on digital platforms since June. Japanese travelers have been always traditional travelers, very conscious travelers, and we really do wish to see them back in the near future. The key word of our development recovery plan is sustainability. Sustainability which has to be combined with economic and social development. A balance has to be found, and this is an opportunity for us to rediscover with new eyes a country such as Italy, which has always been on the map, but which is now transforming itself into a sustainable destination. So in the name of the Italian Tourist Board, I thank again for this opportunity, and we look forward to host Japanese tourists in the future. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, this is Kakinuma from JALPAK. First of all, I would like to thank everyone at JATA who set up this online travel mart, and all sellers who will be participating in the business meeting. Currently, companies around the world, including us, who are involved in the tourism industry, are in a very difficult and challenging situation due to the influence of coronavirus. And the whole world will change drastically due to the influence of this coronavirus pandemic. When the world changes, the most important thing is that we ourselves change. Let's share ideas at our business meeting that will start next week and together change. JALPAK is preparing several actions to respond to corona pandemic environment. For example, we are organizing tours that are small in number or respond flexibility to cancellation from customers. However, all of these efforts cannot succeed, nor can it be possible without your cooperation. This is because airline, hotel, transportation, guide service, optional tour, etc. must all be safe and secure in every aspect. As for future promotion, we will grasp and understand the needs of each customer and respond by introducing a personalized arrangement that matches each customer one by one. We will prepare several approaches for demographic of customers, such as honeymooner, family, senior couple, business, etc. So let's share ideas and create new plans together at our business meeting. Last but not least, I take great pride in the tourism industry, which enriches people's heart and enriches their lives. When tourism resumes, I would like to share the moment of joy together with all of you. Let's make it happen together. Thank you very much.
日本の皆さん、こんにちは。台湾観光局台湾観光協会東京事務所所長のテイ・イビンです。2019年、対日観光交流人数が700万人を超え、お互いにとって大事なパートナーであることを証明しました。過去にないコロナウイルスを前にして、皆様が無事にこの困難を乗り越え、また再び手を組んでアフターコロナの事態を力を合わせていきたいと思います。全世界が今回の危機で大変な影響を受けております。台湾の安定した感染状況は海外の安心旅行をプロモーションする上で一つの方針であり、現在台湾は少しずつ日常の生活を取り戻しており、国内旅行も一歩ずつ回復し、交通、ホテル、レストラン、観光地などでも多くの人々に賑わっていますが、貿易ルールも作っています。この台湾の貿易とリカバルへのステンプの経験をぜひ皆様と分かりながら、アフターコロナの事態を受けて、新生活を向け一緒に努力してまいりましょう。日本のステイホーム期間中、私たち東京事務所では台湾とオンラインクイズキャンペーンを実施し、7月1日にはいろいろ遊び台湾通信をメルマガを作成しました。またウェブセミナーを旅行講座など台湾同学会を展開してまいります。一緒に台湾の最新情報を勉強しましょう。台湾の情報をご覧いただき、日本の皆様にはコロナ収束後、ぜひ安心安全な台湾を最優先の旅行先に選んでもらえるよう頑張ります。皆さんに一日でも早く台湾に来てもらい、安心安全の旅行を体験していただきたいです。最後になりますが、台湾観光局超局長メッセージもお預かっております。早く皆さんと台湾でお会いできる日を楽しみにしております。皆さんのお越しを心より歓迎いたします。じゃあよ、日本。
日本の皆様、こんにちは。香港政府が観光局のデンチェンと申します。 このオンライントラベルマットでメッセージを伝えることができて、とっても光栄に思います。ここ香港では日本に旅行できない状況が長く続いている中で、コロナが収束したらまずは日本に行きたいとリベンジしたいような気持ちをみんな持っています。同じように日本にも香港で本場のおいしいワンタン麺を食べたいと待ちわびておられる方がいらっしゃるのではないでしょうか。そんな日本の皆様をお迎えできる日が一日も早く来るのことを心より願っています。香港政府観光局はリカバリープランの次のステージとしてオープンハウス香港というオンラインのプラットフォームを立ち上げる予定です。日本の友人の皆様、困難な状況が続きますが、一丸となって乗り越えていきましょう。このような素晴らしい企画をしていただいたJATA様に感謝を申し上げます。ありがとうございました。
Hello everyone, my name is Kobayashi from NSL Tokyo, Japan. Today I am sending a message to all of you around the world. NSL is travel agency, subsidiary of airline company All Nippon Airways. We make our clients traveling to destinations around the world wherever ANA is flying. Mainly via package tours we create and sell direct, groups with tour conductors or individual tours. The COVID-19 did not only have an economic impact reducing a lot of our business, but it also changed our own way of living. Like many, now I work from home, have meeting online. I wear a mask and wash my hands every day. People from all over the world have stopped moving. Planes have stopped flying, and hotels and tourist destinations have become empty. But travelers want to enjoy their trip. I want to go there. I want to eat that. We and I speak all Japanese, feel the same as everyone. Now is time for patience, restrictions and struggles, and we all have to make the efforts until one day guests can smile again, traveling safety and normally. ANA is gradually restoring international flights. Be sure we will come back to you. Please wait a little longer until then. When travel will restart, Japanese travel agents will focus on safety and security. No matter the destination guests will go, we will have to deal with the COVID-19 all together and make traveling and travelers safe. We will not carry the COVID-19 into your country, nor we don't want to bring at home neither. Those two actions we will be keywords in our work. Japanese people put on masks did not fail to disinfect their hands and adhere to social distance. Everyone in Japan also fighting every day, so also people from all around the world can visit Japan with peace of mind. Finally, but not least, there is a proverb in Japanese which says, まさかの時の友こそ真の友. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Indeed, people all over the world are fighting the COVID-19. We have to adapt and live with not now until vaccine or care is made. There will be an after Corona and ahead our guests smiling again. I believe it, we shall all believe it and do our best. Thank you very much. So until we can meet again. Goodbye.
皆様こんにちは。オーストラリア政府観光局のデレックと申します。この度は皆さんにメッセージをお伝えすることができ、嬉しく思います。オーストラリアは日本同様、新型コロナウイルスのコントロールがうまくできている国の一つです。7月7日付の発表によりますと、トータル感染者数は約8500人、治療中の人数は34人とかなり少なくなっています。オーストラリア政府観光局では現在、ボーダーオープンに備えて、コンシューマーマーケティングや旅行業界の皆さんへ、現地情報のアップデートを行っております。コンシューマー向けの活動では、Facebook や Twitter、Instagram を使って、日々オーストラリアの美しい景色や可愛らしい動物、アクティビティを紹介しています。6月にはグローバルアクティビティとして With Love from Australia オーストラリアより愛を込めてという動画を配信したり Live from Australia と、題してさまざまなアクティビティを紹介するプロモーションを2日間にわたって Facebook でライブ配信いたしました。日本限定の活動としては、思い出のオーストラリアキャンペーンを実施して、オーストラリアを訪れたことのある一般のお客様から SNS に投稿していただいた1000枚以上の写真をもとに、一本のショートムービーを制作いたしました。思い出オーストラリアキャンペーンはフェーズ2として別の形で実施すべく現在準備をしております。その他にも PR 活動を準備しておりますのでお楽しみください。旅行会社の皆さんへは弊局が開発した e-learning system OG スペシャリストプログラムの、一環としてオンラインセミナーを多数実施しております。6月からは現地サプライヤーさんが直接プレゼンするウェビナーを実施していますので、ぜひ OG スペシャリストプログラムを登録していただき、受講をしていただければ幸いです。また、現地の最新情報として 新型コロナウイルス関連に対するオーストラリアの現状や業界の取り組み、弊局の活動のほか、各州政府観光局による現地情報などを EDM としてトラベルビジョンで配信しておりますので、こちらもご覧いただければ幸いです。日本とオーストラリアの旅行が可能となった際には、安心してお越しいただけるよう、オーストラリアはニューノーマルに適応して皆様を受け入れる準備ができております。陽気なおじたち、美しい自然やユニークな動物たち、いつもそこにいて、食卓を飾るワインのぶどうもいつものように実っています。今はお会いすることができませんが、オーストラリアは日本の皆様のことをいつも思っています。海外旅行の再開が待たれますが、その日が来るまで一緒にこの難局を乗り換えていければと思っておりますので、皆様一緒に頑張りましょう。ありがとうございました。
สวัสดีครับ皆様こんにちは。タイ政府観光庁総裁のユッタサクスーパーソンです。現在世界中で広がる新型コロナウイルス感染症で人々の生活は大きな制限を受けています。この状態の中、タイ政府も一丸となって感染症に打ち勝つために全力を尽くしております。タイは微笑みの国と呼ばれ、日本とも歴史的に深いつながりがあります。今日まで政治や経済はもちろん、文化や観光の分野でも親密な交流が続けています。しかし、残念ながら今はじっと耐えなければなりません。私たちタイ政府もあらゆる政策を講じて皆様をタイで迎えできるように準備を進めています。この危機が一日も早く収束し、お互いにの国に微笑みが戻ることを心から願っております。この困難の時を共に乗り越えてまいりましょう。皆様のご健康をお祈り申し上げます。ありがとうございました。ขอบคุณครับ。
We hope you found those messages uplifting and inspiring. Remember, the online seminars and business meetings will start next week. There'll be a total of 50 webinars for the Japanese travel industry and hundreds of online business meetings between 500 Japanese buyers and 500 overseas suppliers. Meetings will be held over 5 days on August 6 and 7, August 31, and September 1 and 2. We look forward to seeing you there virtually and in person at Tourism Expo 2020 in Okinawa in October, and also in Tokyo at TEJ Tokyo Business Meetings and Travel Festa in January 2021.